So, hi everyone, welcome back to ITOM batch 5 day 32. How are you doing, guys, today?
Teacher, how about yourself?
Good. I'm also doing good. Thank you. Okay, so again, as I always ask before starting the today's session, do you have any questions in the last two sessions which we have covered the service mapping prereq and the manual service map creation? Any questions from that? Okay, if no, then sounds good. Let's proceed for the next thing. So let me quickly share my screen and let me know once it is visible to you guys. I hope it's visible to everyone.
Yes, Ajay, yes.
Okay, so the first, as I mentioned, always, when we starting the service mapping, the first step is the mid servers, like the same way in the discovery we have done, right? So let me showcase you. We have mid server already available and the status is up and validated, right? So we have in already means the mid server is required to be make the connections, right? So as I mentioned to you guys, whenever you are going for the mid server, make sure that best practices always says the mid server should be different for different purpose, right? So example, if you are doing discovery, the mid server specific for discovery, or if you are doing service mapping, the mid server for service mapping will be specific, or the same way for event management and other purposes, right? But if customer is not giving you different mid servers sometimes, so there is no harm to utilize the same mid server which you are utilizing for the discovery, right? So on the same mid server discovery one, you can add that application or sorry, that applications, it's for discovery and the service mapping. As of now, it's all, but you can put the discovery and service mapping. And if it is a single mid servers, it will make life little easy because you can run discovery from the same mid servers and you need to enable some extra port for the service mapping part specifically. Okay, so the only single mid server or the two mid servers basically, when we are doing in the failover side or in production side, at least two mid servers you require. But whenever you are, mid server is configured and we are doing for that implementations and the discovery and service mapping, make sure the same time from the same mid servers, discovery and service mapping is not running, right? So if you are running discovery today 8 p.m., service mapping should be run after that only, right? So whatever the CIS is going to be update the discovery, that will update and that will go for the service mapping part only, right? That's the only thing. Apart from that, with the capabilities, IP ranges, that's other things are same. If you want to include or exclude any specific IP range from that mid server, you can do that. If you want to, modify the capabilities, you can do that, but that's not required, right? So it is good to all capabilities to be utilized by the mid server for service mapping and discoveries, right? It's little, not easy to find out which capability we need to use mid server, right? So if it depends, like if customer says I need to discover Windows Server from this particular mid server only, and then you can go and configure the WMI capabilities, right? That's also possible through the behavior as well, right? So that's possibility, right? But you can do it from as well. Give me one moment, guys. I'm just getting a call. Okay, so that's the things basically we have to do in the mid server side. Apart from that, as I mentioned, the credentials. So if I go back, so credentials type is the same. We just need to utilize the first level credentials, which we utilize for the discovery, for like Windows credentials, SNMP credentials, or SSH credentials. The same type of credentials also required in the service mapping. What extra credentials must sometimes required, which is applicative credentials, right? So, once you are able to discover, but some application which is running not which is running on the Windows or Linux or whatever the host, if that's not discovering, then you require the applicative credentials. And here in the service mapping, that is must, the application should be discovered properly via the discovery, and then you are going to do the mapping on that side, right? So that is the one thing. If I go to showcase you the credentials which I already configured, so I configured two credentials here. One is Windows credentials and one is EMEA dispatch credentials, right? So that credentials I'm going to utilize here for the discovery. Now, sorry. Now, third thing is service mapping. So in the service mapping, again, the same way, like, we are able to see in the discovery side, when we go to the home, right, we can see the list of prereqs, or what needs to be activate on that particular machine or that particular for service mapping implementations, right? So we can see that particular informations. If I'm not wrong, that will be available under the home only. Okay, so if you see fix your map, okay, the same way, that same informations we have available there, the same informations we have available here as well, right? So if you see, if you remember, yesterday we run that particular one, mycompany.com, right? So you can see that errors as well, and that errors will showcase you why this error is here, right? So that's also you are able to see that, but I just want to showcase you something different, right? Let me additional option. No, that's not. Okay, let me see somewhere else that is there. Okay, might be this. Or no, and that's also the out of the box dashboard, or we can say service mapping workspace home, where you can see how many map applications is there, what is how many are ML machine learning powered candidate, how many mapped servers, how many unmapped servers, and the business criticality is on it, right? So that's just a configuration, right? So I'm not going to this one. Okay, let's jump quickly on to the discovery part first of all, right? So discovery schedule. Here we are going to utilize the two IPs. One is this one. Let me start the discovery of this one. Okay, so as I mentioned, whenever you are going for the discovery, make sure whenever you are going for the service mapping, make sure that particular device is already discovered and properly validated. Right, key discovery is completed for that particular device. Sorry, let me capture that IP. And that is the one mid server IP which we are going to utilize here. So I'm going to do the discovery of that as well. So I have some labs available here which we are going to utilize. I just want to showcase you step by step using that particular labs, right? So how we are going to do that particular things, right? So that's available here, which I'm going to be refer further. And meanwhile, let me see one more thing, which I just want to showcase you. It's select the readiness checklist. Oh, okay. So meanwhile, the discovery is going on. I'm going to that service mapping and home. Where it is? I think it's not available here. They are showing in the service mapping home, you see the readiness checklist. But I cannot see anything readiness checklist something here. Mhm. But that's nothing basically, right? So if I just showcase you this one, the readiness checklist one, where is, yeah. If you see, if I zoom it, it's nothing, but it just help you to give that little information about how many credentials you have configured, means basic credentials like credentials, load balancers, host, net flows, cloud discovery credentials, has mid server is configured or not, or discovery, how many discovery errors is there, right? So it just give you that type of glimpse, right? So I got it now from where it will be. If I go to homes, okay, from here, yeah, this one. So if you see, we have not configured any SSH credentials as of now, right? So it is just showcasing, you can go and check, right? Load balances credentials, which is I mentioned to you, right? That's required. Host credentials, right? The NetFlow credentials, cloud discovery credentials, if we are doing the tag-based discovery and all, right? And horizontal discovery errors, we have two errors already, right? And the mid server. So whatever we are going to be, done, that is going to be passed. And we just it just help to verify that informations we have already configured properly, right? So that's there, you can do it. So what we have done, we have started discovery on these two devices. So one is discovered with the C labs windows, we can verify that one. And let's see what about this. Okay, this is also discovered with ITOM SRV when map one, right? So let me close this. Now you can see, when again it just like same discovery, we have discovered that our Windows server, and we are able to see this all running processes, run softwares, file systems, everything here, right? The same way in ITOM Windows server, we are able to discover the running processes, serial numbers, CIs, and everything, right? So that's only the prereq to start the service mapping part. As of now, any questions from anyone? And one, sorry, one prereq I forgot, which is the firewall policy opening, right? So in addition, on the service mapping side, apart from the discovery prereq, firewall policies or firewall ports we need to be enabled on which the actual application is running. If you remember, I yesterday showcased you, might be your application is running on XYZ port. So that specific port firewall policy is required to be open from your mid server, right? In each, right? If Windows, web server is running port 80, your application running on port 443, or your database is running is 1521 or 1563, whatever, right? So that port opening is required from the mid server as an extra prereq for the service mapping implementation. Okay. Now, any questions from you guys on that particular prereq part? So we'll start another part after that. And I hope you guys are following me.
Yes,
Yes,
Ajay.
sir.
Okay, fine. So let's get to the next thing. So here I have one lab which is related to map and individual service, right? So that is for 20 minutes left. The first thing, as I mentioned here, is to create the credentials, which I already did. Means, first of all, whenever you are going for anything, means in the discovery side, you need a credentials, right? We did it, right? Now, what they are saying, just configure the service mapping to discover EMI dispatch scanning service. So that's basically, one moment. That's basically our, in simple words, we are going to create a service maps which is discoverable by service mapping part, right? So we can, as I mentioned, we can do from the application service table, or we can do it from here as well. We can go here, define a single service map, and it's just the same thing will be open, right? So what is mentioned here, I'm going to utilize the same thing. So the name is this. Honor, I can put anything, or you can put anything, guys. This. Now, as I mentioned yesterday, we have multiple types entry points, right? When we are going to discover by service mapping, if we know the entry type directly, like it's a web application, we can go it here. If it is a we are going to create a map for Microsoft Exchange or O365 and all, right, so we can utilize this. If it is a Citrix related application, we can utilize this. If it is in a SAP application, we can utilize this. Microsoft SharePoint, right, we can utilize this. So the same way we can utilize this. In If we don't know what is the entry point, we can go to other applications and we can select it from here. You can see that informations. Okay, so VNC, TIBCO, TCP, whatever, right? So you can utilize that as well, right? So the same way, if I go here again, web applications, when I'm going to do web applications, I need to put the URL, hostname, or the comment, right? In the same web applications, if I don't know, customer says it's a HTTP endpoint, you can the same thing able to see URL, hostname, and the comment. So in the both ways, from direct view or in going to the other applications view or other entry points view, you can do that particular thing, right? So I'm going from here. Now they are saying whatever we have just discovered, put this one like this, right? So that's my entry point basically. Right. So what they are saying now can help me to understand, give me a difference between what on which port HTTP is running, on which port HTTPS is running.
80 and 443.
Right, exactly. Right. So that's why it's a URL and we already covered HTTP, right? So on my port 80, my service are running, right? Host name, it's not mandatory, but if you want to give, you can see that CI 0.5 is built. What is the host name of this? And you can configure it, right? And simple, we just need to do add, and that one entry point type is added. And the same way, we can add multiple hundreds of entry points here. If my application entry point is only from where my application is started. Just in a simple example, if I give you again, okay, the might be in your organizations you have attendance or timesheet or holiday related or leave applications and all, right? What you can do, you can also do from your web browser. The same application you can access from your mobile as well, or and might be if web browser or not email, sorry, mobile, but might be sometimes you can do through your Outlook as well, right? So if that is the three entry points, one is web browser, one is mobile, and one is your Outlook. So you can create three entry points here. After that, how application works, that is a different part, right? But entry point is something from where your application is getting started, utilized by the end users or application users or the technical users. Okay, so that entry point you can create here, right? So that's one entry point I've created, and I just need to click before clicking on that. And this particular one, I think I have to give some other informations. Right. So now from the we have to be provide that what type of application it is, means it's a critical applications, it is a I can say what type of application it is basically, right? So we need to be add those particular things, right? So if I go, I'm not able to see that one moment. Array, it's not saved basically. Yeah, it's saved. Hmm. So once it is saved here, so business criticality we have to be provide. So what is the business? Sorry. So what type of that application? Give me one moment, guys. Okay, so what type of application it is? Means it is critical, non-critical, what type of criticality application it is, right? We can do that. It is non-operational because we have not configured yet or we have not implemented yet. So till the time we are keeping non-operational. Traffic based is something this which I mentioned to you guys, right? So that particular, if it is unchecked, then we are going with our pattern based discovery. Means we have to create the patterns. If it is checked, it's automatically trying to gather the informations from that machine to which we are going to put as an entry point based on the connections that is happening to the next another level of machine. It's creating based on that traffic, right? Apart from that, if I just quickly go through here in this particular one, questionnaires, right? So whatever the questionnaires you have received, you can attach that questionnaires here. So in future, if you want to see, questionnaires means the service mapping prerequisite which I just showcased you yesterday, right? If you want to attach here, it just give you a reference that questionnaires or the prerequisite is already attached here, and you can see anytime whenever you are come to this particular means if that sometime dispute will be happening as well, right? Customer say from web server to app server, then 1 2 3 server needs to be connect, right? But you connected XYZ, so you can refer that questionnaires anytime here, and you can say and mention to customers that that information you provided to us and that's connected here, right? If it is change using the config files, it will going to be update automatically. If it is not, then we have manually needs to be update, right? So that you can attach it here. Reject message or the work note is something we have a action here available that we call this one. Right. So whenever you request for data, send for review, submit questionnaires, reject service map, approve service map. So these are the 5 actions available here. Whenever you can complete your service mapping, right, you are sending for submit, send for review. And that review is going to be owned by user, an email, right? Or a link will be there. So once they will receive that, they are going to be up using the link, they are going to be open that map. That map is going to be open in the view format. They are not able to edit it. They can see, yeah, all the components are correct, they will approve it. If they want to reject, they can reject it, and again it come to you with the reject messages and the work notes, and you can check what is that, what things is missing here, and you can work on those particular things again, right? So that's the basic things which is available on the service mapping form. Right. If I quickly go to the, okay, let me update that one. I think what is the severity they are asking? Somewhat critical. Why I'm putting that, the informations which is mentioned here, so we can validate in the end of the, or once we complete this particular lab, we can validate whatever we have done, it's correctly done, right? So you will not feel I'm just going through this particular things, right? So now I have to click on the view map. Once I click on the view map, what they are saying, entry point is added, service mapping, select update, that they have gone to view map, right? So now it's loading the service map. And as you know already, right? So once you miss, it's because I only one server, it's immediately created that particular one, right? Because we have already discovered that server recently. Now, if you understand what entry point we have given the entry point http://192.168.0.5. Now you are going to be surprised. We have given the entry point this, and why it's discovered Apache server, right? So, and how that is capturing the informations, you can see it here. The running process is httpd.exe. Running process command is this, that is Apache server. PID is this. Everything is captured here, and you can see the informations here as well. So if I click on the detailed informations of Apache, you can see that informations that belongs to this particular one, right? So that's Apache, and that's application that's connected with mapped application service, and the mapped application service table is CMDB discovered, right? So automatically one relationships is created here, and then runs on server is also mentioned here, right? So you can see that information is available, right? Now let me quickly showcase you one more thing which I just want to, okay, let me go to this. Okay, here as well you can see the windows. So here two relationships you are able to see in the right side pane are more informations related to the applications, which is Apache, and the host on which the Apache is running. You can see the virtual machines, what is the name of it, what is the manufacturers, the serial number, and all informations. So if I go to the detailed properties of it and running processes, and if I search this HTTPD, oh my bad. Okay, now you can see there are two processes running. We have captured this one httpd dot this and that's based on the process that information is going to be captured. And if you see, the parent is also showcasing here. So for that particular one, the parent is this one only, right? So that's why it's captured this one. And based on the port automatically going to be captured. And most of the time here the connecting port or the listening port information is coming, might be any region that's not populating here, but that information is available, right? So if you want to do any other, right, so if I can see nothing is there, might be some connections or some issues here, but connecting on listening, that is some of the important port which you can see it here, right? So if that's there, connecting and listening port means you can create, you can understand that application, that running process is connecting to that port and listening on that port, means there are two ways, don't be confused here. Connect means it's connecting to the target machine on that particular port, right? Listening on this particular port, that application is listening that particular device, right? So we have to use the listening port, right? If I just quickly go to one more thing, this dot do, and I have discovered this one as well. Let me see if something is there. Right, you can see here as well, right? So here that information is populated properly, running processes, PID and all, right? So you can see on 443 it's connecting, on the 31,000 port is listening, right? And these particular ports are listening, 139, 445, 5989 and all, right? So what is that? System services something. 32,001, this particular wrapper Windows X, because this is a Windows machine, Windows machine on which my mid server is running, right? So that's why wrapper and those informations comes, and that is listening on that particular port, right? So the port is there, right? So java.exe is running on this particular one. Now let's do one more thing quickly. On the same one, I'm coming here again. Okay, and I can add one more entry point, which is TCP, because STTP and STTPS running on port 80 and 443, but we don't have it, that one. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to utilize this 31,000 port for this one, right? So what is the IP of that particular device is this, no. I have, okay, that's mid server IP. I'm going to put this. Let's see what's happened, right? So this is my host. What is the port which I want to utilize? Java.exe. The port is 31,000, right? So I'm going to be put the 31,000 port. Let's see, is going to be discovered my Java applications or not, right? So now TCP endpoint, HTTP endpoint is there. Again, we have to be click on the view map. Okay, it's discovering now.
So Ajay,
And you
meanwhile,
can,
can I ask a question?
yeah, of course, please.
So here, as like I'm trying to remember. So whenever we enter the entry point, and at that point of time when it is discovering, it will discover the load balancers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or
Mm-hmm.
the load balancers will be discovered by discovery, which is
Yeah.
correct.
Mm-hmm.
Which is the correct one?
Right. But here, as I mentioned, whatever I showcased you yesterday, that is the typical, or most of the time used use case. But it doesn't mean ki every time whenever you are putting entry point, then is going to discover the load balancers. On this entry point, we specifically first of all, the enter a load balancer is not utilizing because that's a specific entry point for that particular server, right? If
Okay.
whenever I'm mentioning to you the load balancers comes in the picture, that will basically comes when it's connecting to the load balancers. So here it's not connecting to the load balancers.
Okay.
We just simply utilize one process which is running on the port 80 on that XYZ server,
Got it. Yeah.
right?
Got
If you see now, the same way, right? I just put it entry point this on the port this, and if you see when I click on this, that's error is there. So that type of error you can have seen this on the service mapping side as well. Say what is saying here, failed to identify CI due to the host lacking an application running on port 31,000. Make sure that application is running and quick for discovery. And nmap installation, because nmap is something for I can say for credential-less discovery. So that's not required. From the handle errors we can do that, right? So if I go to handle errors, I can remove this one or add the management IP. Sometimes that's there, right? So we can do that, right? But let's go and quickly check the errors. So that's the error, right? Active errors, the same, these particular errors now available to on service mapping home dashboards or error dashboard basically, right? So that's the error. Now if I just quickly see, I can say that is running on the 31 port 1000, it's listening port. But let me change the port now. Okay, I'm just changing the port to 443. Let's see what's happening. Is anything running on this port 443? But whatever I am doing here, that's I'm doing to showcase you something. But that information which I am just putting 443 or 31,000 or whatever, right? You have to receive and you are going to receive from your customer only. I just want to showcase you like from where you can find that informations or you can identify that informations. That is my main purpose to showcase you this one. Okay, so don't be confused in that one. Again, it's nothing is running on port 443 here as well. It's just connecting on port 443 and that some service is running on that particular port, right? So that's the reason only. But let's see.
Ajay, meanwhile, one more question from my side.
Mhm.
While
Yes.
giving this TCP port, why did you give the host as the mid server's IP? Like basically, uh, should we give the mid server's IP or like the CI or whichever IP that we are going to use?
Right. So, that's why I'm saying it's an example, right? I go to the mid server IP and because that's a discovered machine in my this particular system. Okay. Apart from that, this machine is discovered, but I don't not able to see the ports here, right? So I thought just to showcase you guys on this connecting and listening port on the mid servers, there are different ports. On port 443, couple of things is running, right? You can see here, and it's listening on 31,000 port or these are different type of ports are there, right? So I utilized to showcase you if we are putting that 443 or 31,000, what errors you will get, right? So in simple words, if I say we are not going to give mid-server IP like this, right? It's just an example to showcase you. Vashant, I think you dropped off in between.
Yeah, Ajay, I dropped about 15.
Okay, but what I'm trying to say here, we not required to give the mid server IP as an entry point, right? This is just an example to showcase you guys. We can put entry point as a TCP type where we can put the IP address and the port, and we can see how that's discovering, right? If anything is running on this particular ports and something is working fine, we are able to discover it and we are able to populate, right? What here, based on the running processes, I can show you connecting and listening port. That's these are the ports that are connecting, and these are the ports on which listening. But actually, on those port, no application is running, and that's why we are able to not able to identify any applications on that particular port, right? And that's the error only, failed to identify CI due to this lacking an application running on the port, right? So just to showcase you that type of errors also comes whenever you are going to do the discover or service mapping basically, right? And this is the error this is the error, I can say, error pane where you can see all informations related to that, right? In the right hand side, you can see all informations related to the systems, right? The entry point or the errors or whatever, wherever you click, you will see that informations in the right hand side. Apart from that, you can also see the changes here, right? So whatever the changes we have done, right? So we have added the CI first, then file added, whatever we have done here on that particular service maps automatically, that's we are able to see that. So it just to showcase you, it's not actual use case basically. I hope it's clear to you Vasanth, now.
Yeah. Ajay, my follow-up question on that would be like, you took the running processes on the discovery, right, from that particular server. So
Yes.
why are we again like doing a discovery from service mapping to map that application? You're just checking, or we are? I'm not getting the exact context of running a discovery on service mapping for that process.
Okay. Right. So that, again, end of the day, what is service mapping? Tell me.
It maps the applications and all the
Okay.
like kind
And
of a vertical discovery.
how you are going to map? It's going to do
Okay,
discover,
once
right?
we, yeah.
It's not, the point is it's going to do discover, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
going to do vertical discovery. Getting my
Mm-hmm.
point? So
Yeah.
here we are doing vertical discovery, not the horizontal discovery. Horizontal means the normal discovery which you already completed. Now, what we are trying to do based on the port or based on the entry point you have mentioned here, we are trying to vertical discover to identify the connections to the next level. Right? So it's again a discovery, but it's a vertical. So that's why you can see the run discovery button here as well.
No, why? No, my question is like we already have that process discovered, or we have already that in the running process for the server, right?
Hmm.
Um, for like we have the applications running on it and everything. So
Hmm.
once again, by running the discovery, what it does here, I'm not
It's
getting
it's
that thing
it,
actually.
it's try to map the actual. Now tell me, on this server, means you can see the Apache server running on this one. Will you able to see any, like this in your discovery, or whatever the horizontal discovery is covered? No, right? So what we did here, you discovered the components, you discovered the running processes, but you are from the processes and all, you are not sure, or you are not, we visualize that particular type of visualization is not providing from there. So here that visualization is coming, right? Okay, if you put an entry point like this that is connecting to your Apache server, which is running on that specific ports, that specific information. End of the day, that is going to utilize your horizontal discovery, but going to provide some visualizations here on that map.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So here, running discovery doesn't mean that we are going to discover anything, right?
Right? No. We are discovering point. We are discovering the vertical side, not the horizontal side. Discovering means we are trying to find the connections from that particular entry points. It's connecting to this. And if it is connecting to the next level of devices, that we are trying to find here. We are not trying to find, or we are not discovering the attributes. We are not discovering the running processes of the machines, because that's done by horizontal discovery. Now we are trying to discovering, is that particular server connecting to what next level of servers? Then they are going to connect with which data type of database and all, right? That we are trying to do here. Based on the connections level, based on the traffic based level.
Okay.
Okay,
So
we are
here,
not discovering the components basically. Go ahead, please.
so here discovery means connecting the what it called connections, right? Not
Applications, right?
discovery. Discovery is
Definitely,
CS,
right.
right? Yeah.
Right. If I just let me show you connection suggestions if something is there. One moment. I think because we have just not done much, but yeah. So that's basically we are making the connections from, or we are discovering the connections from one server to the another server and another server to the next level of service. We are not discovering the component here. We are doing discovery, vertical discovery here. I hope.
Okay, so we can understand something like service mapping is done to establish the connections in the vertical side. Like it just establishes the connection, like how the mapping is done. It does not discover any devices, something, right?
Yes, exactly. But point is again, देखो, Vasant, you have to understand this one. Vertical discovery depends on the horizontal discovery. Okay.
Yeah.
If my horizontal discovery is not done, the first step of the vertical discovery is to discover that device first. Okay, that's also comes in the picture, right? So if means let's take an example, the device which is mentioned here, this one is not discovered by the horizontal discovery. Okay, you come here and you directly put the entry point. What that's basically do, right? It's try to find that information in your CMDB tables. Is that anything available like this? No, it's nothing is available. Then vertical discovery is also discovering that device first, like horizontal discovery, and then only it's moving to the next step to make the connections, to fully pulling the informations or fetching the informations from the running processes of that particular machines, and trying to find out the next level connections to the different applications. If that device is already discovered by horizontal discovery, it's not going to do, it's referencing the CMDB tables to find out that informations, and it will doing the vertical part only, or vertical discovery part only.
Okay.
I hope
Okay,
it's not
Ajay. Yeah, I can relate it now. Yeah. Okay.
okay. So that's we are doing here. So in simple words, that's why I specifically put the use case here. If you see that same information which they want to showcase here, we have three things here. One is entry point, second is connection, and third is application. So that's my entry point. When I click on the entry point, you can see that one. That's my connection. See, this IP address, target is Apache server, this entry point type is this, URL is this, and then connecting to my application. That's my application. You discovered that application as a horizontal part like this, right? But we have not discovered like how that's connecting to an entry point, right? So we are discovered that one here, and that information related to that is mentioned here. Okay, so that three things they are mentioning here. The same way we have multiple things we can do, if because it's a single endpoint, or it's a single device service mapping, right? So you are a little confused, but whenever you are putting entry point and it's discovering the load balancers, database, web servers, and app servers, you are able to correlate how that connections happens automatically, right? That connections happens automatically based on the running processes from one machine to the next level machines, next level machine to the next level machines, and the config file of that particular devices. That's how it's to generate the map. It's to generate the connections in between your applications, databases, and different components. That's not discovering the actual attribute level discovery. That is the main thing. Okay, now if I go here, you can click, you can see the discovery logs. You can see, how that's done. So pre-pattern execution is done, and after that, it's Apache and Windows is find out, and they just created the identification section and all right. So the same way, whatever we are doing in the discovery side, same pattern is going to utilize. But what comes here, the extra is the connection section, right? So it's discovering the device to the connections, right? So if you see Apache to Tomcat, Jiva connectivity, WebLogic connectivity, OC4J connectivity, LDAP, WAS connectivity, right? So that's your application patterns and that's your connection patterns. If something is connecting to the next level of machines, automatically using that particular patterns, they are able to discover, right? But that's not because nothing is found, like it's connecting to Apache to Tomcat on that machine, right? The same way others as well. So we can check the logs as well here, like we are doing in the discovery side, right? Another way, if I just want to showcase you the process detections, they just want to mention this one, we already done. Here is one more thing in the additionals menu here in display in the host view, right? So if you see when I click now, it's you are able to see the Apache servers which is running on that ITOM SRV map, right? But when I click on this one, it's completely changed. Now you are not able to see the Apache. You are able to see the host on which that Apache is running, but Apache is missed here, right? So you can also see that display in the host view. I mean, sometimes customer says, I'm not understanding. Okay, you are showcasing Apache is running on this, but I just want to host level informations. End of the day, that host is there only. Means Apache server is there only, but the front view is changed and it will showcasing you the host or the CI on which that application is running using this particular one. Group CI on the map, if there are multiples, you can do that. Remove topology cycles, you can do that, right? So traffic based CI, I can disable it in as of now, nothing is found out, right? Hide large map, spanning tree view, right? If it is, something different want to map you want to see, you can do that. Merge error nodes, or you can export that one in the PDF, right? So there are a couple of different things which you can do from the additional informations. Okay, now if I go to the next things, I think that's they want to see. They just want to showcase you the results here. You can go, you can check the results, and you can see the dependency mapping as well. On the dependency mapping, again, you can see complete informations on that Windows server that Apache is running, on that Windows server a Tomcat is running, on that Windows server this is running, and this particular one is connected to this particular mapped application. So that relationship is automatically created by ServiceNow here, right? So you no need to do or create that particular mapping here, basically, right? And one more thing, the simple thing is here, guys, till the time you are not trying at your side to create a service map of any service, or like, just like me, I just tried to put my mid server IP in like this, how you are putting the entry point, what you are trying to achieve it, you are not able to understand the clear picture of that one. Okay, so you have to try that particular thing. Okay, now if I just go ahead, please.
So Ajay, like for example, if I'm giving if customer has given endpoint, in that endpoint he is not having any load balancers. He is having some applications, application servers, web servers, and databases. So whenever we have given the endpoint and we run on run discovery, if it is already discovered by in the horizontal discovery, it will automatically map all the devices, right? We don't need to do anything. Is it correct?
Come again.
So for example, my client has given me the entry point. In that entry point, I'm having some application servers, some web
Mhm.
servers, and some databases. So I
Mhm.
discovered all these things in the horizontal discovery. So when I run this, when I created an entry point for this one, and when I click on run discovery, automatically it will create mappings because these are already discovered, right?
Yes, exactly. That
So,
will going to do the mapping automatically.
but if I give a manual entry, if I take a manual entry point, and if I give a CI, any configuration item, so at that point of time, will it provide? If we click on run discovery, it will do. If will it create any mapping?
No, no, no. I little confused. Come again. Just repeat your
So
question.
I will do by manual entry point so that I can
Okay.
use some CI in any configuration item. So at that
Mm-hmm.
point of time, yeah, yeah.
What happened?
No, sorry, I think
Fine.
you are okay. So if I create by manual and manually created, and if I give like any CI, any configuration item, will it provide all the databases, all the servers connected to it?
No,
If you do run discovery?
manually is not going to do nothing, right? Manually, I will showcase you again here, but manually is just to handle the manual things, right? Or it just to manually want to discover anything, right? Means you are connecting manually everything in service, or in that case, vertical discovery is not going to be triggered, first of all.
Okay,
Okay. Only only the component you are going to add that is manually to showcase your map to your customer.
okay,
That's the point. To just to because sometimes customer says I don't want to be I can say I don't want to give the access to you. I don't want to give those particular things, and you don't have any options to do apart from manual. So because manual is also giving the same visibility, like if any impact or any issue comes or any alert comes or any incident generated, you can visualize that one. But the manual is complete manual, means you have to be manually add the CIs, you have to manually triggered or modify those one, and the main challenge is updating manually. So every time any CI going to be add or replace, you have to be update manually.
okay.
Getting my point?
Yeah,
It's just like that only, right? So if just example, this is my example. Customers give you an entry point. Until that time you are able to discover it, you don't have any access issues or anything. But after that it's manual, means you are going to do the add CI. I'm going to some search a Tomcat example, and I'm going here and putting this Tomcat server. Now you can see it's not discovering here. Right, I just put the same thing here, this IP and the port. Okay, it's not discovering due to access issues or something. But here I just able to connect the Tomcat application. After that, customer says after Tomcat, it's connecting to database. So I can use any database. Okay, anything is available. Yeah, here it is. I'm going to connect with MS SQL database. It's a manual connections, right? Everything is manual now. After that, customer says it's a let me see if something is available like storage or something like storage. Yeah, here it is. If some data is available, no. Okay, let me do one more database instance. So also nothing is there.
got it, Ajay. I understood that. So, okay, if you want, like for example, if I done by discovery, and if I want to add manually, then like I'm doing discover by service mapping, and if I want to add manually later on, can we add?
Yes, of course.
Okay, okay,
Right.
Ajay.
So now the point is why manually service mapping we needs to avoid. As I mentioned in automatic map, let's take an example. This is automatic. Okay.
Yeah.
Here Apache is connecting to this particular Tomcat and which is running on this particular server. Okay. But if it is automatic, now customer says I want to replace from Tomcat application is there. but I want to replace from this server to another server that application because that server is going to be decommissioned due to any XYZ issues, right? So it's Tomcat is replaced to ABC server. In manual side, that ABC server is not going to be update automatically. But if it is automatic, you don't do anything here. What you have to do, you have to just run the discovery and automatically the Tomcat, which is running on the latest server ABC, is going to be update here.
Okay.
Right. In the same way, database is MySQL. If it is running on some CI, 100% sure. And if it is running on the same means, if you want to update automatically, automatic discovery or the service mapping will able to handle it. Otherwise, in manual side, you cannot do that. In manual, if it's a manual, right? What you have to do, you have to remove this one. Let's take an impact of it. If I remove the Tomcat, right, my database is also going to be removed, means the connection is removed completely. So what I have to do again, I have to be add the latest Tomcat, I have to add the database again. So it's removed, right? I removed the Tomcat, I have not removed the database one, but it's removed complete connection because the connection is manual and it's happening to the Tomcat.
Okay.
Getting my
Got
point?
it,
So
Ajay. Yeah.
manual only, you have to handle everything manual, nothing is going to be automated. In the automatic one, that's you have to just configure or create the service map one time only, and based on the configurations and based on the automatic machine learning side, the service map is going to be update every time. If any
Okay.
CI changes, if any CI deleted, if any CI added, whatever is going to be, that's going to be handled by that because you
Uh,
utilize the configuration files in that one.
so Ajay, for example, there is a table called Tomcat server, right? Tomcat server table is there, right? So can
Right.
I take any one of the port? For example, if a Tomcat server is connected to port 2443 or something like that, so we can give you that port in the by using the discover by service mapping, we can do http colon slash, we can use that. Like, can we do by giving a Tomcat port number? Can we do by service mapping discovery?
Yes, you can try, but the point is like s- I can say what I'm trying to say here. Sometimes that port is showcasing that's the port of the connections ones, right? The server port, if you see it, the 8005. On that particular port, the actual applications is not running.
Okay.
Right. The applications is not running, and that's the reason we are not able to do that, right? I tried that same thing I'm trying to do that, right? So if you see
Yeah.
I added one entry point and the port is 8005, that's not right. I can add one more time, like this one. Let me go and come back. I can add 9080. It's saying it's a ITOM, sorry, where it is. Tomcat connector, which is running on 9080, and this is the information, right? It's not connecting. That's the reason only because end of the day, port, I agreed, port is utilized. But on that port, some applications should be running. If that applications are not running, that's the reason only. We are not able to discover that device here.
Okay.
It's an application mapping. End of the day, it's an application mapping. If any application is not running, we're not able to do that.
Okay.
Point is this.
Means to get exact data by service mapping, we need to go by only entry points. Two entry
Entry
points.
points, not just one entry point is enough, not
Yeah. Yeah.
two,
Yeah.
one or two, whatever, right? So it's more than enough,
Okay, Ajay, got it now.
right? So that's I'm trying to do, or just want to showcase you guys. So with that, that lab which we are, trick things for today, that has been completed. I have already closed it somewhere. Oh, yeah. Okay, that slab has been completed. So I think the one thing is only, guys, try to discover again your Windows server, try to create some virtual machines on Azure or AWS, try to discover that one and add if I just install, in AWS and Azure, you have the capability again to install some application on that one, right? Install some applications and utilize, see how that's responding. Now you can see application is running, that Tomcat is discovered immediately. I just put it, that entry point, I just put it TCP1, right? The port is 9080. If application is running, that's discovered. You can see running process is the Java. So means Java application is running on the Tomcat on this particular port, and that's discovered. So whatever application is running, that's going to be discovered automatically. If it is not, then it's not. Get my point? On some web applications, Java web applications is running. So that's going to be discovered, guys. Okay, I think that's all. Any questions from you guys? Any other questions from anyone else?
So Ajay, so tomorrow you will continue with like further things with service mapping, right? After doing this map and everything.
Sorry, come again.
Hello.
Yeah, hello. Yes, able to hear you, Vasant.
Yeah. So Ajay, tomorrow you will continue. So now till we have like discovered this application. So what next in service mapping? Just this or?
No, this is not just one. This is just for a single machine service map, right? So how you can do that for single machine? Definitely, I will continue with the dynamic CI groupings and the complete map, a typical complete map, how it's going to be discovered using any specific entry points. That is a part of it. How you can do, or that's already mentioned on the machine learning side, on the traffic based side, or connection sections. Means if something required or comes in the picture to create a connection sections, how you are going to do that, what again operations is going to be utilized in that one, right? And the tag based service mappings, right? So I'm going to deep little bit on the technical side on those things in the coming sessions.
Okay, because I was trying the service mapping simulator is there, right? Ajay, in now learning. I was trying the simulator, and there, like after creating this application service, like they were creating some custom patterns. What you told that the connection section and everything. And we were creating that IRE rules again. I was not sure like why after creating the CI they were creating the IRE rules. They were creating the identification.
So might be, I'm not sure what you're talking here, but the basic thing is uh, IRE rules, if they are creating after creating the patterns, might be they are creating for the connection sections only, right? Or they want to be more specific related to the service mapping as well, right? So sometimes that's required, but what we'll discuss, right? So if you are already going through that, just go through that and raise your questions. So we'll discuss on those things as well.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, I think I can wrap up now. Thank you so much for joining, and we'll connect tomorrow and we'll proceed further on other things.
Ajay, can you share that lab file? We can also practice.
I can share with you guys. Yeah, no issues. Definitely.
Also, Ajay, can you share that prerequisite sheet, at least a blank sheet if you have? You can go through the prerequisite.
Yes, I can share that one as well. Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Ajay.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you.